I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get this recording started here. I just, wanted to talk a little bit about the Minecraft movie trailer that came on out. And, I've been seeing a lot of people going, "Oh my God, it looks disgusting. What the heck did they do? Blah blah blah," right? Now, if you haven't seen the recent trailer, it got released yesterday, day before, September 4th. So, September 4th, 2024. Okay. Um, and like it blew up in a big way, right? I mean, Minecraft, let's face it, you know, has been a major powerhouse for years. Okay. Just as, a game. As soon as it just hit the market, as soon as it became a thing, it blew up. Okay. And it's been that way for a long time now. Now, a lot of people are, might say like, "Oh my God, it's a dead game, dead game, dead game," or something like that. But guess what? People are still playing it. Okay. People are still going on servers in Minecraft with mods and still playing the game and still enjoying the game. So, I mean, hell, there are creators out there that are actually doing animations in Minecraft that they do. They put it into their servers and there you go. Um, I'm trying to remember one of the animators' names. He lives in Australia. I'm very bad at names. Well, either way. Um, so that's a side point, right? Um, so the trailer dropped, the teaser dropped. Teaser, a minute and 20 seconds of movie, right? And I watched it. Um, and here's the thing. Here's where if you haven't seen the teaser, then obviously you're probably not having any clue as to what I'm talking about. Um, but you know, the movie obviously is going to be aimed for kids to young teens, right? I mean, most people that think video games, that's what you think. Kids, young teens. You shouldn't be looking at any adults whatsoever and seeing the movie. Just the adults that, might take their children. But that's it. You're not really considering adults when you kind of make these kind of movies. Now, you might like throw in the occasional indie window or stuff like that, but it's like, um, you know, I mean, hell, if you look back at the old Looney Tunes, you're talking about, you know, animators that actually made cartoons for adults. Looney Tunes was kind of made for adults, you know. They were never really considered, for just kids, kind of thing, right? Um, so when I saw a lot of backlash for this, I'm like going, okay, what's going on? Let me look at this, right? And I'm like going, oh, okay. I mean, here's a trailer. I'll look through it, and a lot of people are like going, what the heck? This looks ugly. This looks terrible. I'm like, have you played Minecraft at all? Like, okay, let me go to the very first image here. Let me kind of maybe kind of put this full screen here, right? So, you know, this to me looks breathtaking, in my opinion. Okay. The fact that they were able to create a landscape and still make it look very textured, very voxel, very bricky, and yet still able to kind of keep the shapes, keep the clouds, um, you know, but yet still make it look like it's an actual world looks fantastic to me. Okay. You know, the fact that you have flowers here that are still, boxes looks fantastic to me. Okay. Um, so right now, I look at the landscape and stuff like that. No problems whatsoever. I'm on board with the landscapes. Okay. I have not seen a single scene in the entire movie about the landscapes that are terrible. Not one bit of landscape has been outright terrible. Okay. Let's look at the let's look at the one thing that a lot of people are commenting on, right? The sheep. This is the one thing that a lot of people are like, really like focusing on. They're like hyper fixated on it for some reason. And I'm looking at it and going, okay, what's the problem? Everybody goes, oh my God, it's ugly. It's like, I'm, um, are they meant to look pretty? Like, I mean, are they supposed to look pretty? I mean, they're not supposed to be looking like anything real life. Anybody that says that, these are supposed to look like real life sheep, it's like we're not in real life. They're in a Minecraft world. Everything in there is supposed to look very voxel, you know, box shaped. It's like it's like what are you what's going on here there, folks? Now, a lot of people are kind of commenting about the fact that it's just like Sonic, just like Sonic. It's like, okay, Sonic had a problem, you know. They tried to do this crap here when they have a lot of images, animations that used, this design. Okay, so the animators that did this, oh hell yeah! I was like, this looks terrible when you had this as a comparison, right? Or images very much like this, right? So I'm like going, this is terrible when you have images that have already been established for Sonic. But here's the thing. This is your image for the sheep. You want them to do exactly like that for the movie? It's like um, for an animated with 3D graphics and the like. I forgot that I should have some background music. Hold on. My headset turns off if I don't have some background music kind of playing in the background for me. 1 second, let me fix this. Pardon me. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Okay, let's get back to this. Okay, so um, So I mean, this is your image for a sheep, right? So now if you compare that with this, it's like, okay, you have the eyes that are cross-eyed already. You don't necessarily have a mouth, for the sheep. So what are they going to do here? You know, so I mean, the sheep eat. So you're going to have to kind of handle that, right? So, I mean, it needs to have some form of snout, mouth, teeth, tongue. So that's reasonable. I don't really have a problem with it. The pink wool, that's established. Very, very box shaped, again, established. So, and they're doing what they can with the hooves. So I mean, but what's wrong with this? You know, how are they supposed to make this better, right? When this is the only, um, this is what they have to work with, right? You know, when you take Sonic, they have images for Sonic. They had a lot of material for Sonic that they could use. And then they made shit like this. So when they did this, oh yeah, I was right on board. I was like, hey, animators, you fucked up. This is what you needed to go with. Thankfully, they changed that. Okay? They went with original animations. Okay? But when you have this as a reference, what are the animators supposed to do, right? So, so I'm looking at people like going, "Oh my God, this looks ugly." It's like, how are you supposed to make a sheep then? You know, how are you supposed to make it any better than what they did? You know, um, it's meant to look box shape, so um, it's the world of Minecraft. It has to look like a voxel shape, so it's it's matching that perfectly. I don't really have a problem with that. The eyes, the pupils, the mouth, you know, the snout, the head, the legs, body, all square shape. So it's like, you know, so in some ways I'm like, okay, for an animator, I mean they might have tried to tweak it a little bit or something like that, but at the same time they're making it for kids as well. Okay? You know, obviously they want to make it, you know, look, funny to them, okay? Because it's an odd sheep, right? You know, you're not going to be finding this out there in the real world. you know, you're not going to be stepping out right out the door and seeing this on your front doorstep, right? That's not going to happen. So, um, so this right here, looks perfectly fine in my eyes. Okay, you know, if they might want to tweak it a little bit, fine. But to be honest, for my opinion, right at this moment in time, it looks fine. It's doing what they kind of need to do for mobs, right? Um, let's see. Um, the piglins, the gas, those looked fine. I don't really had any problems with them. Obviously, crafting was a bit off, but we'll ignore that. Um, the fact that it ignores any known physics. If anybody's like going, "Oh my God, it's not real, it's not real," well, no shit. It's like a Minecraft world. Anyone that did this, the tree would fall over in the real world. So it's like, yeah. So anybody that's looking for realism is stupid if they're thinking, we need this, we need to have ultra realism in the Minecraft world. It's like, okay, have you ever played vanilla Minecraft? It's like, um, you know, um, the fact that you have a lot of, box shapes for the structures and stuff like that, perfectly fine. The, um, you know, the creeper. Now, um, the two people that you know, that I like their opinions on is one, Captain Sparkles. Okay, he's been doing Minecraft content for years, or at least he had, right? He kind of, you know, he's recently kind of moved away from it, and that's totally fine. No worries on that, right? Um, he talked about his initial involvement with it, and they, you know, according to him, they brought him as an initial like consultant, talking about it when it was like first discussed, and he kind of got into the um, discussion about like what would happen if you were to bring people into the Minecraft world or try to bring Minecraft world into the real life or something like that, right? Um, and he had some really good takes on it. Okay. Um, Now obviously he was like he was a little, and his expression there is interesting. um, and a lot of people's expression is interesting, but here's the thing. For us adults, um, this isn't necessarily intended for us adults. It's intended for kids. It's intended for teens. So, um, if from what I understand, you know, from what I understand, okay, I don't know. I don't have children, so I don't, you know, I don't know what a children's reaction to this is. Okay, they might look at this and laugh their asses off. Okay, they might have. I don't know. I've heard comments. I looked at comments on some of these videos, and they're talking about. Some people are talking about how their kids are absolutely laughing hilariously about the sheep, the llama, everything, right? But that's the point. That's the intended audience. Okay. Adults like us, we might look at it and go, "Oh my God, it looks disgusting." But hey, guess what? It's for kids. Are kids laughing at this? Then it's doing its job. Okay, first off. Okay, the second person that I you know want to reference is Mumbo Jumbo here. Okay, and apparently Mumbo Jumbo here, he also did consulting on this specific movie. Apparently, okay. Um, Now, I don't know Mumbo Jumbo personally or anything. I don't. Well, then, hell, I don't know any of these YouTubers personally. But I haven't really watched much of Mumbo Jumbo's content prior. Okay, so you know, but you know, the trailer looks silly in a fun way. That's the intention. It's meant for kids. It's meant to look silly. It's meant to look, um, off-putting and stuff like that. Okay? So, I agree with pretty much everything that Mumbo Jumbo was saying in this particular video. I would recommend you watch said video because, in my opinion, he said everything that needed to be said about it. You know, um, so, so people that are like doing the Sonic comparison are stupid. Okay, in my opinion. Okay, because they're trying to compare apples and oranges here. Okay, this orange here had already references for Sonic. Okay, and the animators did this shit. Okay, so this movie, when the trailer came out, it got lambasted for good reason because the artists, the animators already had previous knowledge about what Sonic looked like. Okay, that's not the case when it comes to a Minecraft movie. Okay, the only reference that they have is this. You know, what do you want them to do? Bring in um, some form of like live sheep or something like that? You want them to bring in like live, real world sheep in some way into the Minecraft world? How does that work? You know, you're talking about a world that is already very much voxel in every shape and form, okay? And you're telling me that a sheep has to look, you know, like normal, like real life? Then what's the point of even having the Minecraft world in the first place, right? So that's my take on it. I mean, you guys don't have to agree with me, you know, but uh, like the one thing that I'm gonna say about the movie, okay, the one thing that's off-putting to me, you know, is the real life actors. Okay, the fact that they got Jack Black to play Steve. Okay, those I feel is off-putting. Okay, you're trying to put like real life into a Minecraft world. I saw one reactor that was talking about like maybe they should have just used Minecraft animations, the player models in the movie, and I would have been perfectly fine with that. I would have said, perfect, no problem. I would have been okay with that. But they decided to go with real life actors in a Minecraft movie. Why? I don't know. Okay, it was their choice. You know, why they did that, who knows? Okay. It's very off-putting. Okay, because when you come into a new game of Minecraft, you come in as what's it, the Steve or what's the female equivalent? Um, sorry, I always know Steve. I just don't know the official name for the female equivalent of Steve. Um, but then again, I'm very bad at names again. Um, but I mean, you get what I'm saying, okay? If they wanted to have, you know, a if you wanted to have like actors or something like that, coming into the world unknown, Minecraft world unknown or something like that, where they're like, coming in from what is it? Um, the this kind of portal-ish for the very first time and stuff like that. Alex? Okay. Thank you there, Kirito. Um, if they're coming into this world for the very first time through some unknown portal or something like that, then have them change their appearance into the Minecraft blocky persona or something like that. That's I would have been perfectly fine with that. Now, obviously, the actors and actresses would have been like, but you're not using my face or blah blah blah, right? You know, you might have some problems with that. But let's face it, they would have at least voice lines in a movie that a lot of people might really appreciate, right? um, So the real life actors, that's off-putting to me. Okay, that's my hang up with the movie. Okay, a lot of people are kind of comparing it to an old movie that I never saw, Spy Kids. Um, but here's the thing. Um, how many kids actually loved Spy Kids? Matter of fact, let's look it up a little bit. Spy Kids, gross profit. 147 million dollars. Um, so and now, I was an adult when Spy Kids came around, so um, so the intended audience wasn't for me. Okay. And when I looked at Spy Kids, I was like going, oh gosh. I was looking at it and going, oh my God, what the hell? What kind of CGI shit am I seeing here, right? Um, I saw that back, saw it when, back then I was like going, wait, huh? So, um, so yeah, it's one of these things where it's like, um, these movies here, the Minecraft movie is meant for kids. Okay. Um, so now the last thing that I'm going to talk about before we move on, okay, because I want to move on to playing some video games and stuff like that, right? Last thing that I'm going to talk about here. This movie hardly showed anything about the plot. It's a teaser. It's just meant to kind of show you a little bit of what you might see as a movie. So, Scar Cheese, when you said the movie is awful, you haven't even seen it yet. You haven't even seen it yet. So you're putting your opinion on it before you even saw it. So that's why I'm like, you know, I'm not going to um, I'm not gonna put that on this movie yet. You know, I'm not gonna have that take on this movie yet. Because you don't know. You know, it might have a really heartwarming, fantastic storyline to it. People are judging it based off of graphics that they're saying is absolutely gross or hideous or something like that. And it's like, one, the audience isn't necessarily for us as adults. It's meant for kids. That's what its intended target is. And if kids are laughing their asses off with it, then great. Um, that's fantastic. If they're enjoying what they're seeing on it, then they're in the right ballpark. You know. Um, so you know, for myself, am I gonna go watch the movie? Well, for one thing, I don't necessarily have the money for it, right? Um, but would I initially go out and see it myself? Mm, maybe not. Maybe not on at least not right away. I'd probably want to like wait for like reviews to come in and stuff like that. But here's the thing. Here's the problem. People are already judging it for a minute and 20 seconds of seeing graphics that they say is terrible, looks like shit, they're smoking weed. It's like, okay, I don't know. People are definitely putting some very negative spin on it when um, it feels like they are judging it way too soon. So I'm just saying it's a teaser. It's um it's using the it's trying to create something with very little um 3D graphics to even begin with, to try to create something, in a way unique. It is definitely unique. I'm definitely going to say that. But I'm not going to say that it's downright terrible either. Like they could go like full horrifying. Like they could go full like, you know, like here's the face in the 3D movie. I mean, would you like to see that in the movie theater? You know, that's why it's like I don't know. I feel people are kind of judging it way too quickly for um they're kind of judging it way too quickly, I think. People are making judgment calls on something that um it's just kind of off-putting in my opinion. So in my opinion, I like Captain Sparkle's take and I like Mumbo Jumbo's take on it. I think they have it right. The intended audience is for kids, and if kids are absolutely loving the graphics of, the sheep, the llama, um, if they are inspired by what they're seeing on screen, then it is, you know, check marking everything that it needs to check. So, um, I think it's fine. You know, it's not. It was never a film made for me directly. Okay. And yet I can still kind of appreciate the creative license that they did to create the Minecraft movie. Like I didn't, Jake, you said that you didn't know they were making a Minecraft movie. I didn't know that they were making a Minecraft movie either. But I look at this and I go, this looks fine. You know, I've been playing Minecraft for years. I mean, I've seen so many mods being placed on Minecraft that this is nothing. The fact that people are putting Pokemon mods into Minecraft, this is nothing. So people are putting realistic filters on their mods, and this looks exactly like those realistic filters that they put in. So I don't, from what I can see right at this moment in time, in my opinion, everything about, what, you know, the landscape, you know, and the mods, the mobs, um, even the ones that are evil, you know, um, That looks perfectly fine to me. You know, my like I said, my only complaint is the fact that they put real live actors into the movie. That's where I'm like, that's 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 the like, huh, kind of factor for me. And that's it. I don't think the animators or anything like that need to change a damn thing on the movie. So animators, Warner Brothers pictures, I don't think you have to change a damn thing. Anybody that makes the damn comparison about the Sonic have no fucking idea what they're talking about because the Sonic had references. So when people saw this and they wanted to see this, yeah. But when you have this as a reference, they have no fucking idea what they're talking about. They have no fucking idea what they're talking about. So So that's my take on it. I'm gonna go ahead and end the recording on this video here. So